Welcome back, first and second graders. This week we are going to be reading the book Chicks and Salsa, and we're going to be learning about character traits. Now, when you read a book, it's important to focus on the things that a character does and the things that a character says to learn a little bit more about the character's personality. Sometimes you can use their actions to figure out a little bit about their personality. Dad always says practice makes perfect, so we spend lots of time hitting baseballs on the weekend. Well, these people that are hitting baseballs on the weekend, they're following their dad's advice. It sounds like they want to get better at baseball. You can learn that from this. Does it say in here, we want to get better at baseball? No, but it says that they spend lots of time hitting baseballs on the weekend. So that tells you that they want to get better at baseball. You can also use the things that characters say, or dialogue. Jamie, I believe in you. You have such talent and drive. You will be a star one day, said Mrs. Joseph. This teacher believes in her student. She's positive. She thinks that her student is going to go far. And you can learn that from the things that she says. So as we read the book Chicks and Salsa, I want you to focus on the things that the rooster says and does. You can draw a picture and write some words about the character of the rooster. Chicks and Salsa. Oh, and before we start, our word of the day is aroma. A smell that is noticeable and usually pleasant, although you could have a sickly aroma or a bad aroma of some sort. But usually when we say aroma, I like to think of the smell of cookies or the smell of something wonderful. But that's not always how it's used, just usually. Here we go. Chicks and Salsa by Aaron Reynolds, illustrated by Paulette Bogan. There were grumblings in the henhouse at Nuthatcher Farm. The chickens were tired of chicken feed. The rooster took it upon himself to solve this problem. Mrs. Nuthatcher, the farmer's wife, had started watching cooking shows in the afternoons. The rooster was perched on a fence post outside the farmhouse window when he discovered the solution to his problem. Salsa! Led by the rooster, the chickens crept into the garden, where they took tomatoes and they uprooted onions. That night, the chickens ate chips and salsa, though nobody was quite certain where the chickens got the chips. The tasty tang of tomatoes and onions hung over the barnyard, and the rooster yelled, "Olé!" Very soon, they were mumbling at the duck pond. At Nuthatcher Farm, inspired by the chickens, the roosters decided that they were tired of fish. With the rooster's encouragement, the ducks dipped into the garden where they selected cilantro and gathered garlic. That night, the ducks ate guacamole, though nobody was quite certain where the ducks got the avocados. The spicy scent of garlic and cilantro hung over the barnyard, and the ducks said, "Olé!" The next morning, there were rumblings in the pig pen at Nuthatcher Farm. Overwhelmed by the enticing aromas, the pigs decided they were tired of slop. While the rooster distracted Farmer Nuthatcher, the pigs plodded into the garden, where they borrowed beans and chopped chilies. That night, the pigs ate nachos, though nobody was quite certain where the pigs got the nacho cheese sauce. The delighted deliciousness of cheese and chilies hung over the barnyard, and the pigs said, "Olé!" As everyone knows, when a passion for southwestern cuisine takes hold of a farm animal, and so many sumptuous, spicy, savory scents collide in the barnyard, it can only lead to one thing. Wonder what that one thing is. Fiesta! Party. The rooster got things organized, then returned to his fence post to watch for a good enchilada recipe. The horses decorated the barn. The bull practiced his Mexican hat dance. Oh, nobody was quite certain where the bull got his sombrero. And the chickens and the ducks and the pigs snuck into the garden. But all of their spicy southwestern supplies were gone. The scallions had been stolen. The peppers had been pilfered. The limes had been lifted. Did you hear something on this page? Let me read it again. The scallions had been stolen. The peppers had been pilfered. The limes had been lifted. A little bit of alliteration on that page. But there were slurpings in the kitchen of Nuthatcher Farm. Stirred by the succulent smells from the barnyard, Mrs. Nuthatcher had decided to make tamales for the county fair. A saucy sweetness hung over the farmhouse kitchen, and Mrs. Nuthatcher said, "Olé!" Disappointed, the animals canceled the fiesta. That evening, the chickens ate their chicken feed, the ducks ate their fish, and the pigs ate their slop. But while the Nuthatchers were at the fair, the rooster crept into the kitchen and borrowed a French cookbook. The next morning, the rooster ate crepes with white grapes and champagne sauce, though nobody was quite certain how the rooster learned to read. A satisfied smile stretched over the rooster's beak, and the rooster said, "Ooh la la!" So, what types of things did the rooster do in this story that give you a little bit of a glimpse into his character? Write about them, and then make sure you share about them on Flipgrid.